Governor.
The body of missing 2-year-old Taylen Mosley found miles away from the apartment complex in the mouth of an alligator, as confirmed by St. Pete Police Chief Anthony Holloway a moment ago, and Passion Jeffrey, the mother of the missing 2-year-old, is confirmed to have died from multiple stab wounds. The boy's father charged now with 2 counts of first-degree murder. Good evening, folks. JB here with you live on WFLA Now. You could tell that was a difficult press conference for Chief Anthony Holloway. Difficult news, of course, for so many in the Tampa Bay area, so many in the state of Florida, and many of you who have been tuned into this story around the world, so concerned about this poor, sweet little boy, 2-year-old Taylen Mosley, who is confirmed to be dead after his remains were found in the mouth of an alligator in a body of water miles away from the apartment complex where he was last seen. The person who is accused of these in these deaths, of course, being the boy's father, who, as we learned earlier on today, admitted himself to the hospital with cuts to both his hands and his arms approximately 45 minutes after a loud commotion was heard inside the apartment belonging to Passion Jeffrey, and of course where Passion Jeffrey was with her son, Taylen Mosley. An extremely difficult situation, of course, for not just the police department, but of course Taylen Mosley's family, Passion Jeffrey's family, who are living through their worst nightmare tonight. This update, this significant update, is specifically connected to Taylen or the homicide investigation with his mom. We're about to find out. Here's Chief Anthony Holloway.
Okay. It's with great sadness I have to inform you here today that Taylen's body has been found. It is my condolences going out to the family and to his loved ones. We are sorry that it had to end this way. Through investigative technique, we were able to find an area around Dell Holmes Park that led the investigators to that area. The detectives had been there all afternoon, and while they were there, they were spotted an alligator with an object in his mouth. As the detective got closer, they fired one round to the alligator. The alligator dropped the object that he had in his mouth, and we were able to retrieve Taylen's body intact. The father, Thomas Mosley, is now being charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. I can tell you now that Taylen's mom, Miss Jeffries, her body was stabbed multiple times. Until the medical examiner has a chance to look at Taylen's body, we cannot tell you the cause of death. I would like to thank all the law enforcement agencies that assisted us today, or since Wednesday, and a special thanks to our detectives here at St. Pete Police Department. These men and women have worked tirelessly since Wednesday at 2:30 trying to find hoping for Taylen for a better outcome. But again, that didn't happen. Needless to say, tomorrow we don't need the volunteers to come out to assist us in looking for Taylen, but I just want to again thank everybody for volunteering to come out to help us. With that, remember this is an ongoing investigation, so I will try to answer some of your questions.
And after almost 2 days of looking for little Taylen, I know you've had so many crews on the ground searching, brought in, all hands on deck, like you said. I mean, this has got to be tough for your team to see things end like this after all your hard work.
It's very tough because these men and women, again, since Wednesday at 2:30, they've been working tirelessly trying to find Taylen. And we didn't want to find him this way, but at least we can bring some closure to that family now. Again, there's emotions up and down because as they're doing investigating, they're following up the leads that we were hoping that we could find him alive. So these detectives and these law enforcement agency officers, they go through a lot. And tomorrow, guess what? They got to start all over again doing something else. But my hat off to these men and women for being able to do this. At this time, we're not going to talk about that. Again, we're still doing this ongoing investigation.
If someone spoke with you at all, kind of what was the reaction to once that alligator is shot, to seeing that as a human body that the alligator had, if the officer that found him to speak to that.
I'm sorry, you were asking about...
I guess, what was the reaction, I guess, to seeing the human body in an alligator's mouth after that shot was fired?
Well, I can't tell you that. Just think about anybody. The officer sees a body of a child. What would be your reaction to that? What would you think? So that officer, he or she has to, they've been working since Wednesday, and they see a child in an alligator's mouth. So they got to do their job, but at the same time, I can't tell you their reaction. I can tell you probably a lot of emotion went through their body, but they still had to do their job.
How does one separate the job and the emotion, if that's even possible?
These men and women do it each and every day. They come to work, they investigate a case. They got to put a case together to make sure that Mosley get convicted of this. So they got to do their job on that, and they do it. They do it quite well.
Chief, are those 2 counts of first-degree murder? Is that one for passion, one for Taylen, or what are those counts for? Is he charged with both of their deaths, or just Passion's death?
He's charged with both of their deaths. 1 count for passion and 1 count for Taylen.
But you said the cause of death for the child is still pending, right? So we don't know if he was deceased before he went into the lake or after?
That is correct. So that's what we're trying to determine.
And then where is this lake in relation to the apartment complex?
So how far away is that?
It's miles.
It's several miles.
So it would have to be an intentional act, not like he just wandered out.
So let's just give you an example. Where the incident happened is way out on Gandy in 4, Lake Maggiore is at 22nd south.
Is any wide Dell Holmes Park, is that where the father lives?
Again, this is an ongoing investigation, and through investigation technique, we were able to zone in on that area.
And Chief, we heard that Mosley went to the hospital with cuts. Can you tell us if there was a fight back from Passion, if she was stabbed by him?
Again, this is an ongoing investigation, and all I can tell you, like I said, when he went to check himself into the hospital, he had cuts to his hands and to his arms.
Do we know if he's still in the hospital?
He is still there.
Since your last update, has he said anything to you? Or has he said anything about anything?
When the detectives went out and spoke to him, he didn't want to talk to the detectives, and then later on, he asked for an attorney.
You said police fired a round at the alligator. Have you taken the alligator in at all, or is the alligator back in the lake?
The alligator was killed.
Alligator was killed, okay.
Any other questions? Thank you very much.
Breaking news.
Taylen is missing.
We just want to say that Taylen is a beautiful little boy, and he's really loving and caring, and he's just very sweet, and he'll smile and laugh at anybody. And there's Amber Alerts everywhere. And you guys have seen them. I have people all over the country calling me about the Amber Alerts. So I'm asking everybody, if somebody saw something, okay?
Please speak up.
So if you know something, say something. Help us get Taylen back. Taylen lost his mommy, so he needs his family right now. So we ask for your help in finding him. Somebody knows.
Somebody knows something. Please speak up. Somebody knows something. Somebody saw something.
And Passion just
Taylen
a beautiful
love to be with his family.
Yeah.
We missing Taylen. We call him
Tay-Tay.
Tay-Tay.
Yes, he will answer.
The glam. He answer the glam.
Yeah. He answers to a lot of things. He's, very smart.
He's always calling his mom on his cell phone.
Yeah, always.
He misses his mom. They call each other all the time. She really loved Taylen.
Yeah, we don't know.
She always was there for Taylen. She calls on breaks.
Yep. And
early in the morning, they FaceTime me early in the morning.
Yeah. We're without words. We love Passion very much. And we love
very
Taylen.
much.
So we've lost Passion. So we ask you guys to help us to find Taylen and to get him back, please.
Please help, please.
What was your daughter like? What was her personality?
She's very outspoken, always make you laugh.
Smiles, beautiful smile all the
always
time.
joking.
Trying to rap, laughing.
Always trying to rap, sing.
Scaring you when you're not expecting it, always hiding behind doors.
Yes, love to scare you all the time.
You know,
Ever since she was like 3-4 years old.
She was 20, you know,
Yes.
but she's a loving kid and she loved that baby. That baby loves
so
her.
sweet. I can remember when Taylen was born. I was coming from Seminole, you know, working. He looked up at me like, I said, Taylen Mosley. And he said, huh? Closed his eyes. I said, okay. I mean, Clem need to go sit down now.
Yeah, and if he
But
calls
please,
for
y'all,
auntie,
please.
that's me. Okay.
Yes. T and TT.
Folks, is there a message you would send to Taylen's father? He's been named a person of interest. Is there anything you would say to him or want him to?
There's nothing we have to say.
Your daughter was making a life for herself. And so what she was doing, how she was making her way and making her way and making a life for she was herself.
Well, she had just moved. She was working at CVS. She had just moved out here. This was her first month that she lived here. And very happy to have a better place than what she had before. And for a 20-year-old, she was doing well. She wanted more out of life. And, you know, we're without words.
Now, are you guys originally from the St. Petersburg area, or where was she?
She's from St. Pete.
Yes. Originally from St. Pete.
What have you guys been doing last night, today? I know the answer is you're obviously looking for Taylen, but how are you doing that? Who are you contacting? What steps have you guys been taking to try and uncover anything?
We're just making sure that everybody is aware of the Amber Alerts that's showing up, passing it on Facebook, and in any other social media outlet. Make sure that everybody sees it. And so it's very difficult because we're in a really grieving pattern right now, you know, because we don't know where Taylen is and we lost passion. You know, so we're depending on the St. Pete Police Department and all of you media to help us to find Taylen.
Are you all praying up right now?
Oh yes, and we have prayed and we've asked everybody else to pray.
I'm so sorry for your loss, and we're really hoping for a safe return here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
When you
If
see
anyone
that
out there
Amber,
is watching this and knows where Taylen is, just what message do you give to that person?
Please bring Taylen home.
He needs his family.
Home safely. He needs his family.
Because he's
he
missing
needs
his mother.
family. He's missing his mother.
So he needs to be around people who love and care about him.
He's missing
and
his
can hold
grandmother.
him.
His great. His great.
when you see that Amber Alert out in his face being shared by people who might not even know him, what is that like for you to see that picture being shared everywhere?
Well, it's very difficult to continually see it, but we have to see it just like the Amber Alert ran across the cable system all night long. So a lot of people, it's difficult because we don't know where he is, and we want to know where he is, and we're glad that they're doing it so that we can have a possibility of getting him and getting him back. So
perhaps police can give us a bit of an update here too. Do you have any idea what might have happened here at all?
We're going to do everything in our power.
Thank you.
Please help us.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Holloway will provide a timeline.
Okay. As you saw from her, it's very emotional. I'm going to give you the timeline again about what happened yesterday, then open it for any questions if you wish. And again, our two most important things right now is number one, to find Taylen and bring him home, and number two, to find out who killed Miss Jeffries. That's our main goal right now. This is all hands on deck. Every detective is working this case. I just briefed the mayor prior to coming here. I want to thank our partners that are out there. Number one, the St. Pete Police, the St. Pete Fire Department, the Clearwater Fire Department dive team. They're here. The Sheriff's Office, Pinellas County, for bringing their aviation unit out here. Manatee for bringing out the K-9. our partners at FDLE, Florida Department of Law Enforcement, and the FBI. So as you can see, everyone here is working on this case. So again, I'm going to go over the timeline that went through yesterday and more information that's come before us. So yesterday, as I said, the last time the family was seen around 5:20 on Wednesday afternoon with the family members, as you saw grandmother right here talking to them. Around 8:30 Wednesday night, someone said they heard a noise. They heard some type of noise that was out there. Around 9 o'clock, the father arrives at his mother's home, his hands are cut and his arms are cut. From there, he goes to the hospital and he admits himself into the hospital. The father is a person of interest, but nothing in our investigation, I want to repeat that, nothing in our investigation leads us to believe that he is a victim. We tried speaking to him and he's not talking to us at this time. So we're going to continue doing our investigation. The main thing that I want people out there to know is tomorrow morning, if there's any volunteers that want to come out, we're going to do a search at 8 o'clock in the morning. So if you just want to come to the location, we'll also put it up on our Facebook page on where you need to come so you can help us look for Taylen. And we're going to continue to do the search throughout our city. This is an ongoing investigation. As we get more information, I'll be more than happy to share it with you. And again, our goal right now is to find Taylen. So with that, I'll open it for questions.
Can you tell us anything about any other areas you're searching besides that lake?
Yes, we are looking at another location. We'll get that to you later on this afternoon. But we're going to start here because as you see the crime scene is here. We're going to search this area, search the complex south of us. And then as we get more information, we'll ask these volunteers to join us in those areas also.
Can you run us back through the father? What time did you say he arrived? You said at his mother's house with his hands cut, or where exactly?
So around 9:15, he's at his mother's house. His hands are cut and his arms are cut, and then he admits himself into the hospital.
Have you been able to determine what cut his hands and his arms?
No, we have not.
And I guess following up on that, do we have a sense of kind of how Passion was killed, and if so, has a murder weapon been recovered, if such exists?
That's still part of our investigation.
Did the father live here at this apartment complex with her?
That I don't know.
You notice that they're living in the lake that is in the back, in the big park. Did you guys have any keys that lead them to that lake? Why are they living in the lake?
We're going to search this whole area. So that lake's part of this complex. So we're going to probably do like a mile radius search of that. And the lake's the first place we're going to look. Just maybe he walked away or something like that. But we want to make sure that we check everything in this area. We follow up on every lead that we can follow up. And that's another thing. If anybody has any information, you just heard from the grandparents and the uncles and the family members, please contact us. Let's bring the baby home. Let's get him home.
Are you going to be searching all the bodies of water that are around this complex, or is there several of them?
We are. The dive team's out there. Also, we're using drones, so the drones can do like a grid search, so we can cover more area. Because again, the helicopter's pretty high, but the drone can get pretty low and do a grid search.
Chief, can you give us any geographic of a reference as to where the mother lives in relation to this complex?
Yeah, right behind me, as you saw, you're talking the victim, the deceased.
No, the other, the father, mom, where he went.
I'm not going to give you that information at this time.
Now, how did you guys realize that the father had these cuts on his hands? Was that after a detective went to go interview him, or did someone else, of his family?
Through our investigative lead with some of the family members, we were able to find that out.
Have there been any previous calls to service here, any considerations?
Not one. This is, and we didn't get a call that night when somebody heard some noise. No one called us that night. The only time we came here is after the mother of the deceased. She called because, as she told you earlier, she FaceTimes her every day. So she didn't hear anything from her. She called the property manager here. The property manager goes to the deceased's home, and she finds a very violent crime scene. I want to make sure, a very violent crime scene. And that's when we start looking for the child. We didn't know there was a child until later on.
Was the door open? The property manager could go in, or how would, when they walked in?
They had to, I'm assuming they had to unlock the door.
Is the father the only person of interest that you guys are looking at right now?
We're looking at everyone, but right now that we're looking, like I said, the father's a person of interest, but we're going to see what the investigation leads us and the evidence. We want to talk to the father. Again, we want to know where Taylen is. And we want the father, if he knows where Taylen is, to tell us. And that's what we want. We want Taylen.
Was he released from the hospital that night when he went, for those cuts? Was he released?
The father's still in the hospital.
He's still in the hospital.
Chief, does the father have any criminal history of violence?
To my knowledge, no.
On top of looking in the bonds and whatnot, the dumpster here was also taken last night. Was there just a precautionary reason for the dumpster? Why was the dumpster?
We're going to check everything. We couldn't look inside the dumpster last night, so we wanted to make sure we could take the dumpster to a location where we could search it very thoroughly.
Right now, the father's not speaking, though. Is that right?
The father's not talking to us.
Did you say what hospital he's at?
No, I did not.
Chief, what time in the morning did the mom call on Thursday when she missed that FaceTime call?
She didn't call us. She called the property manager, so I have to get you that timeline. Yes. I'm sorry. So the grandmother didn't call the property manager until 2:30 p.m.
Okay, and
that's when they made entry into the home.
We have a lot of ring cameras everywhere out. I'm assuming you've mentioned surveillance video tracking. I don't know if there's some at the gate, but have your detectives going door to door found any sort of video evidence that's helping you?
They're still out there now, and if people that do have ring cameras, if you see anything on there, please share that with us. We're looking at everything that we can find. We've got some pictures already where someone saw the blood trail early Thursday morning. So we're going to try to, that's what we're trying to piece together this timeline. So we know there's a blood trail early Thursday morning.
What was that blood trail?
As you saw outside, there was a blood trail right where the car was. Sorry.
We'd be testing to see if it's his blood?
Yes, so we'll be testing everything. Is it his blood? Is it her blood? Is it Taylen's blood? Those are all the things that we've got to look at.
How important is every minute when it comes to finding, 2-year-old baby boy Taylen?
It's very important. We're all coming up on 24 hours. 24 hours Taylen has been missing. That's why I'm glad that you're here, and I'm glad that people out there listening.
Man, this is a really sad day, man. And it's messed up that the father killed the mother in front of the kid, and you take your own kid down to a lake and toss your baby boy into an alligator's mouth. What did the mother say to this nigga to make him have that type of reaction to where he just blacked the fuck out and said, I'm gonna kill you and my son? And then, man, hey, he fucked up, cause once you took that kid out there, nigga, you took your shit from a second-degree manslaughter to murder in the first degree. Now, I don't think that murder in the first degree, I don't think that that's gonna stick. I really don't. I think that, I think it'll wind up being either murder in the second degree or, it may get dropped back down to manslaughter in the first degree. However, he gonna do some time behind this because he took all his defenses away, man. You should have left that kid alone, Thomas. Left the baby alone. See, it's gonna be hard to get murder because it's stabbing. Even, I understand that they said, well, it's cuts all over their arms. Police officers, they're not lawyers. They just police officers. But murder, specifically by stabbing, that's a crime of passion. And it's going to be difficult to prove that it was premeditated. It'll be difficult to prove unless they got text messages where he say, bitch, I'm going to stab you, and then I'm going to throw my son in the alligator's mouth. Like, no, that's not premeditated, Now, him going down there and, driving the son down there, it shows he was trying to cover his tracks. But, like I said, man, this case will be played out. It's a sad day. It's sad anytime that a 2-year-old is murdered. The baby mama is murdered. He gonna have to live with that. He's definitely gonna have to live with that. So, man, thank y'all for tuning in, man. I'm on.